I'm Mint Salad, and I saw It's a Wonderful Life. It is directed by Frank Capra. My previous exposure to this movie is none, and luckily this movie was requested by somebody on Fansly. You can go check out my spiciness or request a movie review at this link tree right here. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. The movie starts, we're following this guy who is just, chilling. His name is George Bailey. But then we also get to see the perspective of, I thought it was like galaxies talking to each other at first. I really like the way that they highlighted which chunk of star was talking to each other, kind of giving more of like an exposition dump of the mission of this chunk of star, which turns out to be an angel later on. So we have an angel being sent to help George Bailey, and it's giving like some context of who George Bailey is. But I really like the way how it is set up, because it's like, okay, I need to know this guy. Take me through some of his memories, and then we get to see through the perspective of this angel that is about to go help George Bailey, like who George Bailey is and his life. And I was like, whoa, okay, here we go. We're in a really cool store, and we're following George Bailey as a kid. He's supposed to deliver some pills to an old lady with a sick son. And I like George Bailey. He notices that the pharmacist filled those tablets with poison. I'm like, why do they have poison containers? That's the word for it. Poison containers. Why do you have that lying around? And why does it just say poison? Like, do you poison people on a regular basis that you just need it lying around, and that you would be able to just easily, mistakenly give a kid some poison? And George is there to help out, not to deliver the tablets. But instead we get to see more of his like home life. He's just a good kid. He's just trying to help out. He's like, yo, I just learned that you just lost your son, pharmacy man, and I'm gonna really help you out by not delivering the pills. Yo, you just filled them up with poison, but I understand what you're going through. And I'm like, this movie immediately has me going through a bunch of heartfelt moments. Immediately from the get-go, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of humanity to this movie. And then we get to see George grow up more. He's with a chick named Mary, and he wants to leave and travel. He wants to go to college. He wants to travel. He wants to go to New York State. He wants to go to Europe. But there's a building and loan that his father has a company of, and then his father dies. And I'm like, oh, this is really tragic. All right. Well, George is like, I'm going to keep it running despite my wishes. And I'm like, yo, that's really noble of you, George. You keep this building and loan place open for the community, so this dude named Potter isn't going to buy up everything and increase everyone's rent and make the entire community poorer as a result. And he's like, I'm going to do this at my own expense. He even tries to leave a couple of times. Before it was like 4 years when his brother Harry got sent the college money that he was going to go to college for, but ended up staying. And then the brother Harry's like, okay, I'm in college, I'm back. And I like the part where he does steal Mary back from a woman, which is, I like the part where he does steal Mary back from a man who then eventually becomes really rich because there's a war. He's doing plastics. There's just a lot of emotionality, there's a lot of connections, there's a lot of genuine, and the actors and actresses are really good in this movie. I was pretty impressed. I was kind of blown away how I never heard of this movie before, because it's from the 1940s. That's probably why I never heard of it before, because the people I was around before recent really just wanted to watch movies from when they were growing up, which is not to say the 1940s. I have a mighty strong opinion that I will reserve for later, and it's about this movie versus Die Hard movie. Okay, stay tuned for that, and I'll talk about which one's the better Christmas movie. A little bit more clarification. I'm gonna say my parents just watched a lot of war movies, and so I was pretty much only exposed to some war movies, some obscure movie choices whenever they would want to go to the theater. But other than that, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of movies. Thank you guys for all your requests, because doing this show, since I started doing this show, has expanded my movie watching experience, the amount of movies that I've watched. I just would have never seen this many movies without you guys requesting it, so thank you guys so much. Much like how I appreciate you guys, George Bailey really appreciates his wife, which I'm really glad for. They have a family. I like the way that the movie shows the passage of time. Oh yeah, and then the ex of Mary grew very wealthy selling plastics during the war. And then Harry went to war and prevented a kamikaze from happening, so now he's a war hero. And I like that part a lot. I'm like, okay, cool. I like the style, so where does it start going wrong? Here's where it starts going wrong. George Bailey, although he's not being thanked for the immense amount of help he's helped the community with, he does have to deal with the fact that he just has the feeling and the need to want to explore, and he's never been able to do that. He's shackled, he's a down man, he's down on his, I can't believe I never did that kind of vibe. He's on that wavelength at the moment, and so I'm like, man, I really feel for you. You didn't do what you wanted to do. You did what you basically had to in your eyes. And we get to see a little bit more of him snapping his breaking point when one of his employees is trying to deposit $8,000 into the bank so, building and loan can continue. But there's a slip up. Some money gets slipped into a newspaper. Potter gets the newspaper and then doesn't give it away. But I'm like, dude, you at least have $8,000, and you're seeing the despair that the people around you are in because they don't have this $8,000. Your competition. You even have your competition, George, is crawling to you. Yo, I really need $8,000, please. I just have misplaced it. I don't know where it went. And Potter, who knows what happened to this $8,000, is like, I'm gonna call the police. And it's like, dude, Potter, you suck. I could see so clearly through you. You just want to buy the place so you can take the assortment of houses that Building a Loan has made, because they have smaller loans than you, Potter. And you just want to take it and then increase the prices. I'm like, dude, if all the prices are increased, how are the people going to rent there? How you're just going to have fewer people but with higher prices versus a lot of people with lower prices? I'm not a business person, so I just morally though, I just feel like this is a bad move. So Potter is no good in my book, and I feel this strongly at this point. I'm like, okay, I could definitely feel why George is like, I gotta go, I gotta run, I'm gonna get real drunk, I'm gonna get hit in the bar because I lashed out at my wife, at my children, at people randomly, and those people randomly are just coming up and hitting me because I said mean things to them. And then he just crashes his car into a tree. Totally understandable. He's on his shambles, and he's looking down, just, looking down over a bridge. Am I gonna jump? And I'm like, yeah, don't do it, please. But then some other dude jumps, so George Bailey jumps after him and doesn't die. And I'm like, dude, if you did jump in the first place before seeing the other dude jump, you wouldn't have died, you just would have been really cold. And, I don't know, probably died of hypothermia. But that seems very painful way to go, George. That's just how you're gonna get sick. Come on, dude. But he just wishes to have never existed. Which, honestly, is a perspective I would like to see. For me personally. What would life be if I never existed? Would you be curious? Just to see, like, what things you have contributed to other people? That'd be pretty cool, honestly. And now George is seeing through a array of going around town, running around town, trying to talk to people. I'm George! And then people think he's crazy. We learn that the pharmacist who had, he prevented from poisoning a kid. Yeah, that pharmacist is in prison. He's in prison for almost 20 years now because he killed a kid. And George directly stopped that. And once this was revealed, I was like, oh, my heart. George, you stopped this man from going to prison. Wow. And Harry is dead because he drowned when he was 9. The incident in which George saved him and lost earring in his ear, Harry just is not alive anymore because George wasn't there. And I'm like, wow. And also, Mary's just, being a single woman. She's being a maid. She's not enjoying her life. Doesn't seem like. And so George learns a nice, valuable lesson that I also appreciate, because it's like, you gotta really value the people that you have, because you don't want to throw your life away. You could be doing so much good. You want to throw your life away for $8,000? Money is like, it's not like food. You can't eat it. You can't burn it. Well, I guess you can, but it's not gonna be fire fuel for long. You can't drink it. You can't use it to make shelter or other basic human needs. However, you could buy all those supplies with money. So that's the dichotomy there. That's the whatever this thing is called. What is this called? A scale. That's the scale there. So George learns things about love. Once people know him again, once his wish of not existing, he's like, I'm gonna call it off, and so the angel disappears. I like the angel a lot. He's a really cool angel, he's really chill. And he's also like out of his depth because he's like, yeah, I'm an angel, and some people are like, yo, you're crazy for even thinking that. It's like, but I am an angel. I'm like, no. You gotta hide yourself better, or else you're gonna get kicked out of a bunch of places. But anyway, so now we have George appreciating his life, his family, and it's a real roller coaster of emotions, this movie is. Especially since, we hear ding, bell, ding, 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 an angel gets his wings, and now Clarence is the name of the angel. Clarence now has his nice angel wings. And now, I like the angel second class joke, like his title. I'm like, how many angels are there? I would like to know how many angels exist. Is it just like, the ones named in the Bible? Or is it like named in the Bible plus a bunch of angels have their own identities? So like the ones in the Bible are like the celebrity of angels. And then there's like a bunch of common folk angels that we don't know about that are just like keeping people watch. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not God, I don't know. So, this movie, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a wonderful movie. As you could probably tell by the way that I talked about this movie during this review, entirely in black and white. However, values, very intentional. I could very much see the scenes well lit when it was necessary for the scenes to be well lit. And also when it was dark and it fit the mood of the movie. This movie, it is dense, I'd say. but it's dense in a good way. It's dense in a, I want to learn more about the characters and their struggles and what they had to go through. And then, like, we get to see more like character growth as the characters get older. It's more of like, it's a life tale. It's a Wonderful Life in the movie. That's the name of the movie. Could you tell it's about this dude's life? George Bailey. George Bailey learns the importance of his contribution. I should also mention that the community members, once they heard that George Bailey's in trouble, they went to a bunch of people, and everyone in the community, they're all giving him money. And it really does help towards the debt, the bank debt, which is really beautiful. It's like, oh, it's community. You gotta foster yourself a community, or else you're gonna be alone forever. Now, for the part you guys have all been waiting for. Is this movie better than Die Hard? Well, Die Hard has a lot of explosions, deals with John McClane, who has a divorced wife, so he has an ex-wife. He's trying to kind of regain her love. And through that, there's a terrorism, and then he has to show his love and protect her by dealing with the terrorism head on. Okay, cool. That is a lovely movie. It is, I'd say, barely a Christmas movie in a lot of people's eyes. Because, it just takes place on Christmas. But, that's what Christmas movies are. They take place on Christmas. And also, this has fundamentally, it's about family. So this is arguably a Christmas movie. Alright, now we have It's a Wonderful Life, which is, again, arguably barely a Christmas movie, because the only part that takes place on Christmas is the very end, where he's about to jump off the bridge on Christmas Eve, which is very cold, but I digress. It's about a guy, we're watching a guy grow up and learn his character. We get to see, like, his character flesh out, his relationships, what he means to the people that he has to deal with, I guess in a similar fashion as Die Hard. But in Die Hard, there's not, like, several years of learning, like, this looming bad guy threat who's trying to, like, take your livelihood and, like, take all of the livelihood of all of the poor people in your community. And he's just like a looming threat. And every time you go for help, he's like, no, I'm gonna cut you off while you're weak. I'm gonna take advantage of you. I'm gonna be like eating you like a snarl. You know, the only thing that terrorists had, they had big guns. And this was only taking over one night. It's a Wonderful Life takes over many years. And I feel that adds to the depth of the character emotionality, plus the true meaning of Christmas. Of course, Die Hard has big old gun explosions, pew 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 pew. Wow, explosions are cool. Wow, the cops suck? Who knew? Wow, it's not like they already suck in the they already suck in the 80s movies. It's like today, but less bad. So, it's interesting. However, we don't have to deal with that many cops in It's a Wonderful Life. I only have to think about family. George Bailey's family, which is beautiful. And I have much more emotional connection to George Bailey and the rest of his family and his community. So I gotta give It's a Wonderful Life a better movie rating score than Die Hard. For me, it gets a solid 9.8 out of 10. If you like this review, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. The ultimate goal of this channel is for me to become an expert movie reviewer. So if I haven't reviewed it on the channel, there's a chance I haven't seen it at all. If you'd like to request a movie in the comments below, you can do that. Or you can fast track a movie review request at patreon.com/ASEPresents for $20 a month for one movie review per 1 month. Or some occasional How to Draw Pokemons, they'll go there first. And you get to see them for my ultimate Pokedex. Draw all the Pokemon on the Pokedex challenge. So go to patreon.com/ASEPresents I feel like it helps support the daily grindiness of these movie reviews, and go to this link tree. It really helps the daily grindiness of all these daily movie reviews. So go here. And until next time, I'm Mint Salad Sauce. See you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.